Hello, and welcome to Your Daily Balance, Idaho Central Credit Union's video podcast, where we're here to help you with tips and tricks to help you achieve financial success. And today I'm here with Amanda Myers. I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here. Love talking about houses.
Yes, we do. So let's start out from the beginning. And why don't you tell us your position, how long you've been with Idaho Central, and we'll kind of go with that first.
Sure. Sounds good. I am the Senior Vice President of Mortgage Lending at Idaho Central Credit Union, and I have been here 17 years.
That's
Laura
so
and
awesome.
I actually both started in
Yes,
2005.
we did. It's been a good journey.
That's right. And I started in the branches. I was a teller, and then I was a loan officer and a branch manager. And as a branch manager, I was introduced to home loans and knew that that's what I wanted to do. And so after about a year as a branch manager, I joined the mortgage team and have been doing mortgages and helping people buy homes ever since then.
What drew you to home loans specifically, since you've done everything
Sure.
else really that the credit union has to offer?
Really, it was the joy of home ownership, watching people really go through that process and be able to achieve what we call the dream of home ownership, and just loved seeing that and loved seeing what people were able to do with their investment and how it helped them truly achieve financial success. I loved it.
And it's one of, if not the biggest investment most people will ever make,
Yes.
financial investment that they'll make.
Yep.
And so it's a big deal for people, and it can be really stressful, especially the first time kind of getting through the process,
Right.
which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
So I remember when I bought my first home, and I remember thinking, man, I mean, this is a big deal.
Right.
And I'm nervous about
Yeah.
it. I'm nervous because I don't know the whole process.
Sure.
I want to make sure I pick, an awesome home for starters, but then the loan process it can be intimidating.
For
so
sure, yeah.
Can you kind of talk about, some of the resources that we have, or even maybe your first time home buying experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Same with you. It was exciting, but kind of nerve-wracking. And I was very young. I think I was 23 at the time. Didn't know much about the loan process at all. But we were excited to buy a house, right? And this was 2004. The market was booming. Lots of houses for sale. We lived in Boise at the time. And I remember after we got the house and went through the loan, writing the first check, the first payment was like, oh my goodness, what have we done?
For 30 years.
Yeah. But again, that was 2004. And 2 years later, we saw what our neighbors were selling their houses for. And we said, seriously, we can sell our house for that much and make that much money? And we knew going into the first house that we weren't going to be there forever. And we thought, maybe now's the time to sell. And so we did, and we made a good profit, and we were able to take that, pour it into the next home that we knew we loved. And we were in that home for 10 years, did the same thing, sold that home, took that money, poured it into another one. And again, the greatest decision we've ever made. Very nerve-wracking, but the best decision we've ever made.
Oh, that's so good.
So at Idaho Central, that's what we love to help people do. We love first-time home buyers. We really love to help our members achieve financial success, like we discussed. And so for us, we look for every avenue out there to be able to help first-time home buyers, whether that be a VA loan that offers 100% financing, or a rural development loan that offers 100% financing, FHA with very little down payment. In Idaho and in Washington, we have the housing authorities that we work with, and they offer lots of different programs to help first-time home buyers and even low-income home buyers.
Yeah.
And so we want to participate in all of that. Even NeighborWorks, there's the Pocatello NeighborWorks, Boise NeighborWorks. We partner with every organization that is focused on helping people buy homes. That's what we want to do. And there's so many programs out there, and it's hard for a home buyer to know what all of those are.
That's what I was going to ask
We
you.
want to be the experts. So
right.
we and our loan officers are the experts to know all of that.
Right.
Certainly, if you go and do a Google search, you're going to be completely overwhelmed. That's why it's best to
Right.
work with an expert who can say, yeah, based on your situation, you could look at this program or this program. Here's the one that I would recommend and why.
Right.
Again, the internet is a great thing, but you can spin your wheels a lot and only get some information. It's best to work with an expert who can really guide you down the right path.
Right.
The other thing that's great in the state of Idaho right now is the first-time homebuyer savings account.
That is a really great program.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. And it was brought about by Idaho Realtors. Thank you, Idaho Realtors. They worked with the state legislature to create this savings account that offers a tax benefit as an incentive to help people save to buy a home. So it's a savings account where you can put money into, and it does need to be used for the down payment towards a home or closing costs towards a home. But those deposits that you make can potentially be deducted from your taxable Idaho income, which is a great tax benefit.
Right.
And then, of course, it's encouraging you to save for that down payment. And great plan. We love it. You can earn interest on it. It's very flexible, but we love helping people with that account as well.
So good. And so one of the things you said a few minutes ago was that, when you go to the internet, it can be very overwhelming.
Right.
And, but some of the tools that are out there are really helpful because they can kind of at least get you in the wheelhouse of what realistic expectations are for you and for your budget. Yep. There's some calculators out there. Can you tell us about a couple of things that we recommend for people to go and look at?
Yeah, absolutely.
To get them ready to go?
On iccu.com, we actually have a couple calculators. One of them is the mortgage qualifier calculator, where it will help you understand what you might be able to qualify for. And what's cool about that calculator is that it has different options where I can pick to say, okay, here's my annual income. Based on my annual income, how much could I afford? And there's going to be a few other things you answer as far as what other debts you have, some things like that, but very simple. I say, my annual income is X, and then it says you should be able to afford Y. The other cool thing, though, is that you can change that to say, okay, this is the payment that I'm comfortable with. I don't want a payment over X. And you can enter that payment, and then it will tell you based on that payment that you're comfortable with, this is the price range you should be looking in, which again is great. And then same thing, if you know the purchase price you want to look at, you can actually enter the purchase price that you want. And then it will tell you if that's the purchase price you want to seek, you need to make X amount per year, and this is what the monthly payment for that will be.
Or if you have money down, you can put that in there too, which would help that bottom line there too.
Yep. Yeah, lots of different data that you can enter in that calculator to, again, try to find what should I be looking at, what's the range that I need to start in. But it's great.
So speaking about money down, how much does a first-time home buyer typically need to bring to the table on their first home?
Yeah, it depends on the type of loan program you're going to do. There are honestly a few programs that allow 100% financing, meaning I don't have to make a down payment. There are still closing costs associated with the loan that will need to be paid, but lots of times you can negotiate for the seller to pay those closing costs. Outside of the 100% financing, typically you should expect 3 to 3.5% down for most first-time home buyers.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good general number to kind of use for calculations. Good. And then I don't know, is it it's always better to buy versus renting, I think is what we hear.
Sure.
Because you're putting your money towards your own investment, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and we have another calculator at iccu.com that will actually show you what it calls as a break-even point.
Okay.
Because, of course, you're paying rent, and you want to know, is it worth it for me to buy a home? And there are definitely benefits, but there is an upfront investment to buying a house, right? Whether that be the down payment or the closing costs, there's still that upfront investment.
Right.
And the rent versus buy calculator will actually tell you, based on your current financial situation, how much you're paying in rent, what kind of a home payment would you be looking at. It'll tell you, okay, it would take you 1.5 years to break even, right? If I buy a house and I have this upfront investment versus my monthly rent payment, it'll take me 1.5 years to break even. Everything beyond that is really putting more money in your pocket in the form of equity or tax savings. And so there really are a lot of benefits, but it isn't for everybody. If I thought, okay, I'm going to buy a house and I'm only going to be there for 6 months,
right?
Probably not the right decision at that time. Right. But again, calculates for all of that and will ask you questions to know your specific situation.
Yeah, that's great. So we've talked about coming in and asking the questions at Idaho Central Credit Union. How's the best way to start that relationship with Idaho Central and our loan officers? Is it online? Is it in the branch? Right. Is it through the video, service center?
Sure.
What do you recommend?
Honestly, any of those work great. One thing that I really recommend is to start online because that's just a lot of data entry. And your time is valuable as a first-time home buyer, as a borrower. And just to sit with a loan officer and tell them, I make this. This is how long I've been here. This is how long I've been here. This is where I work. That's a lot of time wasted of just exchanging data. Right. So someone can do that part much faster online, complete the application online, and then make an appointment with the loan officer. They're already going to have your information right from the get-go in that first appointment, they can be making recommendations to you instead of saying, okay, I need 40 minutes to just complete your application.
Right.
And then a half hour to start talking about options. Get that part done. It's easier online, faster online.
And you have all of your documents at home.
Yeah,
you know, if
absolutely.
you need to upload
Sure.
a pay stub or
Definitely.
look at something, you have all of that.
Yeah,
at
that's
home,
a
ready
great
to
point.
go.
Yep. When you apply online, you can upload all that information. And again, your loan officer already has that when it's time to meet so that you can really get into what's important. And that's what's the right loan for you? How much do you qualify for? So that's what I recommend.
I do think that's the magic touch on home loans because I know I've done a couple at Idaho Central and our team members are amazing. They just say, or even online, you know,
Sure.
they'll say, this is what you need. You put it in and you walk in and it's like it's almost a done deal at that point. Like everything that they need, they have, and it is fast, easy. Like I remember being like, we're closing, like, that's it. Like it was so awesome. So that's really great. And they're so nice and helpful too.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yep.
So what would be your advice to first-time home buyers in the current market situation?
Sure. Absolutely. I'll go back to my first-time home buying experience a little bit, and I have a couple pieces of advice, and they're going to seem contradictory, but I'll explain them. The first one is to be patient. Be patient. Right now, it is a very hot market. Homes are selling very quickly. You're probably going to make several different offers and not get your offer accepted because there's just multiple offers being made on almost every single house.
Right. Yeah.
And when we bought our first home, we found a house. We fell in love with it. We made an offer. We were so excited. And then we did the inspection. And there were some pretty major underlying issues with the home that we just knew we weren't going to be able to afford. And so we actually had to walk away from that offer, and we were devastated.
That's heartbreaking.
We were
really
absolutely devastated. But then we found another home that was honestly 3 houses down the street, and we loved it. And that was the house we were meant to have.
Right.
And that happened for me and helping so many people over the last 15 years. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that same story where it was, oh my gosh, we're so devastated. We wanted that house. And then they find something else. And that was really the house they were meant to have.
Right.
So be patient. Be prepared for it to take a little bit of time. Be prepared for some ups and downs because it does get a little emotional.
Yes.
But be patient. But then the second thing I'll say is don't wait. There are a lot of people who wait and they see what values are doing. And really in the Pacific Northwest, values are increasing at a very rapid pace, which obviously means prices are increasing at a rapid pace. And they think, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for prices to come down. And if you do that, you're going to wait for a very, very long time and you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on that equity that you could have been building for lots of years. And there probably is a softening headed for Idaho and the Washington area. But even then, it's truly just going to be a softening. Demand is so high in our area that I just don't see anything coming anytime soon that's really going to cause prices to take a major shift downward. So people will wait and they'll wait and they'll wait, waiting for the right time. And again, 4 and 5 years go by and they say, yeah, I should have done it 5 years ago.
Right.
So be patient, but also don't wait for that perfectly right moment of when you think you're going to strike it big. Typically doesn't happen. And in the meantime, you're going to kind of regret it and kick yourself and say, dang it, we should have done it a long time ago.
That is great advice. That's really great. Is there anything else we should cover before we wrap it up?
I think we've covered everything.
I know we hit on everything really well. Well, good. Well, thank you so much for being here. I thought that was
my pleasure.
So helpful, and I hope that really helped some of our viewers out there too. And I
do too.
I think it will. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.